tired of pushing that button. Go.
Yeah. Start that hard.
Pushed it all the way.
Pushed it good.
Push it.
Really good. That's funny. You know what I like? I like is at the beginning of the first Deadpool, he's listening to that Salt and Pepper song.
Yeah. That's a good movie.
He's sitting up there on the bridge drawing a picture of himself before he jumps into the vehicle.
That's a great fucking movie. God damn.
And he's just swinging back and forth, and he's pretending like he's slapping a butt with his hands. And then there's a part when he's in the he's kicking their butts in the SUV, and he takes
SVU.
Special Victims Unit. That's what this is going to turn into. Well, thanks for coming and hanging out, guys. We're going to end this intro and get into it deep, hard, and fast.
Okay. Count to 5. I'm just going to pretend you never fucking said that.
You know what? You got to cut it off where you said, okay. That would be so. Have the music build at that point.
Okay.
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 It's like you resign. I'm defeated.
I give up. No cap.
No cap. Is that the first time you heard that in a while?
No, I have a 19-year-old.
Yeah, no, I know how that feels. Yeah. What are you sipping on over there, Brant? Uncle Brant?
I'm just drinking coffee, man.
He's always drinking coffee. I don't think it works anymore, man. I'm sorry for you, but you need to step it up.
Coffee liquor, same thing. Coffee liquor, same thing.
I have kids, man. It does not work anymore. I have little kids.
Hey, Uncle Brent, I just found out that I'm a daddy myself.
Oh my god! Just
found out?
Was it the Attorney General? Was it the Attorney General that called you to tell you?
Surprisingly, no. For being a Mexican, I'm surprised that's what it was. You know, it's the mom that made me find out. You know.
Well, congratulations.
Congratulations, man.
I hope.
Appreciate y'all. Yeah. We just took a DNA test. That's what it is. Yeah.
I can take it off.
She'll cut this off probably.
Oh shit.
You don't got to edit nothing out. This is my first podcast. I might make some mistakes. I might have to tell y'all what to edit out. But it's a pleasure to meet y'all. It's a pleasure to meet y'all today, nice for real. Everybody's sipping on something in this interview. That's a good thing.
Mine's
good.
Not alcohol.
Not tonight.
Unfortunately,
I haven't had a drink in like 3 months, so.
But it's early though. It's early though.
Yeah.
It could take a turn with Renell and then take a horrible turn.
Oh, no, I've learned my lesson. No.
Do you remember that interview?
Like a very good podcast. I love what you guys have going already because, you know, you got your background and you got the all-white background. That's going to go just right.
Out of the San Antonio area, this artist blends Latin and pop to create bilingual acoustic gems. Please welcome RLP recording artist, Joel Tres. Welcome, sir. Woo!
And you know what? You know what is so crazy about finding out about who I am is like, at first it was Joel Tres, but hearing Joel Tres and Joel Tres from all sorts of people, both of them sound pretty good to me. You know, Joel Tres. That doesn't sound too much off of Joel Tres. You know, I love that. You feel me? Yeah, we'll get into it.
Well, see, I have a nephew, and his name is Joel.
Yeah.
It's not Joel, it's Joel.
And you know what? My dad always said it's Joel. It's Joel. But being in where I'm from, a lot of Mexicans would call me Joe. They would forget the L, you know? And so I'd be like, I just started saying Joel, you know, because Joel and Joel people, it's easy to mix it up with Joe or Jewel, stuff like that, you know? I'm not a Jewel, you feel me?
Well, maybe you are. Maybe you're a Jewel.
Probably.
We don't know.
Diamond in the rough. We don't know.
We will find that out. We will find out. We will get to the bottom of it.
So tell our audience a little bit about your music.
My music, you know, this is something I've been waiting to talk about is I take music even though music isn't too much of a serious thing, I take music pretty serious in regards to how your spirit reflects off of it. And your music just says who you are. So I'm ready to talk about the story behind that and where I come from and where it comes from, if that makes sense to you guys.
Where do you come from?
So city-wise, where I'm from, or
Or
my
where are you
culture.
from as far as your story is, what your story is about?
I guess it all starts with me being a mama's boy, because my mom is 100% Mexican. I really didn't really have a dad growing up. He's half white, half Mexican, and he wasn't really in my life much. And so I grew up just trying to understand my culture. And everywhere my mom spent so much time with me, she would make sure that I knew about my culture. And I've just tried to keep it as pure as possible. No matter where you come from, don't be ashamed of it, because it's the reason you come from where you come from. It's meant to be talked about.
So who is somebody you admire?
Somebody that I admire, that's a good question. My mom, actually, because at times where I didn't think that I was Mexican enough to do the music that I do today, my mom was there to tell me, you are Mexican, you're Mexican. I make Spanish music, but I don't really speak Spanish like that. And I've never really spoke Spanish like that, but something that made me make the music that I make today is my mom used to always tell me growing up, you know Spanish, you just don't want to speak it. And I'm like, what are you talking about, Mom? You're telling me I know Spanish, I just don't want to speak it. But the moment that I started to invest myself into Spanish, growing up, hearing my mom speak Spanish and knowing certain things she says, for me, all it was not only learning Spanish, but it was expanding your vocabulary. The most strangest thing about this is the way that I know how I'm saying something right on a Spanish track is if I've heard it before like that. The way that I've been learning to speak Spanish is the music, but a big way that I've been learning to speak it is because I'm Mexican, and I realized that when I first started to invest my time into learning the language, a lot of people, a lot of different cultures would be saying, like, you're saying this way, say this way, or whatever. And I was like, you know what, fuck this. I'm gonna go to a book, and the book is called 101 Sentences in Mexican Spanish. There's a dialogue, and it's kind of like a play, how people are reading along with the play, and that's what's been helping me connect with my culture as well as speaking my language, if that makes sense to you guys.
No, it does. So what you're saying is singing in Spanish and speaking in Spanish not only helped you with your music, but it helped connect you with your roots a little bit.
Oh, most definitely. And there's this word that we say in Spanish.
Persephone. Persephone.
Did you just say Persephone?
Yeah, that's my daughter's name.
My fucking baby mama wanted to name our next kid when she's a daughter Persephone.
Shut up.
I swear to God, the whatever with Greek mythology or whatever. Yeah. Bro, that is crazy.
What the fuck?
This is all recorded right now, right?
Yeah, it's all recorded.
I can't wait to show this to her. I'm not gonna lie.
So I have a question.
Do it.
So you're an RLP recording artist. So did you meet Randy like at a park near the bathrooms at 9 p.m. or something?
I'm surprised I didn't meet him at a park at 9 p.m. or something.
I know. He's so 9 p.m.
So I'm not gonna lie to you guys. So I got T-boned in an accident, and the money that you get from an accident is enough money to at least get your career started. And
that's one way to look at it.
So I was like, being from the hood, everybody's gonna. You just got in an accident. Can I borrow like $200? You know how it is. Before anybody could ask me anything, I'm like, this money already went to this. The way that I met Randy is so crazy, and I feel so blessed to have met Randy, because driving around the whole city, hitting up anybody who records, any radio station, anybody who is in front of a screen, just anybody. I even went to Televisión y todo. I went to everybody. So I was driving around, and then I was going through Google, and I seen just Randy's name on just searching, and I hit him.
Was it his OnlyFans site?
Shit.
I'm surprised it was.
OnlyFans on every episode.
But what's wild? The reason Randy took me on as an artist, he saw what I had, and he realized how he can take what I had and make it better. And he's just been doing that ever since. And he even told me, you don't got to mention me, you don't got to mention no Randy, but Randy has taught me so much, man. RLP, shout out to RLP, Randy Leva Productions. He's changed my life so much. I'm not
So
gonna
it's been
lie.
a good relationship.
He made me realize that when you're going into the music industry, you don't go into the music industry thinking I know it all. You go into the music industry knowing I could learn a few things, because he's taught me a few things. He's made me realize that coming into the industry is about learning. Because once you think you know it all, where is it going to go? Downhill. The reason why I know that is because when he saw my first music video, directed, produced, everything by me, there was a lot that he said it's a very beautiful video, but there's a few things I would have done to make it a bit more dramatic than what it was, to pull the audience's attention towards it. That's the very first thing I've ever learned from him. And like now when I see music videos, I can see everything he's talking about. Look up and smile. Okay, look right here. So it's been a journey, man. Yeah, I love learning more than thinking that I know something,
That's a good way to keep going with it.
Yeah, because there's a lot that I know I'm going to see that I haven't seen yet. And I'm glad to have this mindset that I do,
What has the music scene in San Antonio been like for you?
It's been so dramatic. So I started as a rapper. My spirit took over eventually, but I started as a rapper, and being from San Antonio, it's not easy. It's not as bad as most places, but considering the type of money that comes through the city, there's a lot of obvious criminal activity that goes, and I can testify. I have so many testimonies, man. I don't come from a very good place, so doing music here from San Antonio, when I started doing shows as a rapper, it just got too gangster for me. And I'm not saying I'm not, anything, or I am something, but when I would think that I'm going to be rapping for a positive message, and I go to the show thinking that I'm going to rap about my positive message, but there is 10 other people that are promoting gang violence, drugs, and everything that the rap industry has been promoting, this wasn't for me. I saw it and I was like, I can rap, I can hold my ground, I can match this energy, but it's not worth it.
It's not an energy you want to promote.
No, especially because there's a very big testimony about that I can tell you guys probably a little bit later. I'm not ready to talk about that. But when
That's okay. We'll have you on again.
At a show, I had a friend who was shot and killed right in front of me at a show.
Sorry to hear that.
And so things like that have taught me, just come from your roots. Don't try to act like, and my mom has been telling me, she's like, you're so talented. She's steered me into the right direction when she saw that I was going in the wrong direction. And I want to tell you guys this story. The very first Spanish song that I made, I was sitting in my car and I was asking God, I said, God, how can I release my feelings through music? Because right now I don't feel like I'm doing it like I should. And he said, I want you to make a song in Spanish because that's where you come from. And I said, but God, I don't know Spanish. And he was like, I don't care if you don't come from that. You're going to do what I say. And within 5 hours from that time, I had a Spanish song written. And 2 days after that Spanish song was written, I filmed my first Spanish music video, which is what I sent to Randy. And Randy saw that, and he knew where I was trying to go with everything. And he took that and was like, there are some parts where you did good, some parts I can make it better, but I'm going to take you all the way, and I can feel that happening at this moment. And it's so fortunate to me. It's not about where you want to go. It's about where you're going. And I don't know if you can relate to that, Brent. It's about where you're going, because I've heard a lot of your struggles. I heard about a lot of your struggles on your podcast, because I was listening to your podcast earlier today.
Ooh, which one?
Very first, and I didn't get to go to the second one, but the first one between you guys.
Oh,
and
the first episode with Brent, where I interviewed him. Oh shit, we went back.
Yeah.
Wow, Brent.
So
that was not the greatest recording, but that was.
It wasn't, but
we're better. We're better now.
It sounded like this right here, That's what I was so excited, because I'm like, he sounds like he's sharing a lot of experiences that I'm going through right now, with the family and stuff, and trying to balance.
That's your guy.
Life. It gets to a point to where the music is just going to be the music, and you just got to keep living,
So let's talk about your first single that you released under RLP Records. So this one has a nice acoustic and bongo opening, and then you just go right into it. It's like there's almost no intro. It's like everything is on. You're straight into it. Real cool feel. So my question is, let's talk about your vocal chain on that. Is the vocal chain you used on that the
Hold on, we're talking about on that. What's the title? Because the listeners don't know what song that is.
That's their problem.
It is called
Hasta
el Final. Yeah.
Okay.
Have you guys heard the song? It's a very African song, but if you do your research within the Latin music industry, Latin music, the more southern you go, the more it comes from Africa, which is so crazy. So I don't know if you ever heard this song. You don't need no other body. Dun-dun-dun. You don't need no other. It's a very African-like song, but that's where I got that inspiration for Hasta el Final.
I was asking you specifically about your vocal chain, like we've talked to other artists, and they talk about how they record their vocal, what effects they put on it, stuff like that. So the vocal chain that you used in that, is that your standard typical vocal chain, or did you do something special with it in that song?
Honestly, no. When it comes to any song, I just like that everything about that song pops. So if you're going to have a vocal chain, it is very important to me to have a strong background chain. It's very important to know what about your track is going to back up what. When you're recording, there are some things that you have, there are sounds that support other sounds. That's where I was going with that song. I just wanted to have, the best neatly produced song that I can possibly have for this. I just wanted to make something, even though it was my first release, it's more of a cumbia pop. It has its original feel to it, but usually the what my standard would be is just anything that sounds pure, that would steer me away from going down the wrong direction in life.
What is the song about?
So the song is about my social anxiety. So I don't know if you two have ever been in a club and you've seen somebody that you thought you might have liked, but there's a lot that is holding you from talking to that person so much. And even though that person may be the nicest person and take you for everything you might have to offer, there was always that sense of doubt that comes from trauma within us that says, just don't even bother going up to that person or whatever, you know. So like that song is a dance feel kind of song, but it sounds like a club kind of song because when I'm in the club and I see a girl I think I may like or whatever the situation may be, there's always something that's holding me back from being my my 100% social self. And
Is it
so
like
that
an anxiety? Do you struggle with anxiety, especially
I do.
in
I
groups?
struggle
Yeah.
with so much. And the anxiety isn't like a unhealthy anxiety. It's kind of like an anxiety that I've been through a lot, and I'm just not trying to go through that again. It's so crazy because it kind of describes where I come from, but at the same time also describes what I admire mentally. Because if you look into the lyrics, it's saying like these are the kind of things that's keeping me from talking to you, but these are the kind of things that I admire. So like there's this part that goes, Te vas conmigo, oh. Te vas conmigo means you're gonna leave with me. So even though in my head what I admire is that I would like for you to leave with me, there's also these other things that describe my fears of talking to somebody and bringing them into my life. That's where that song really came from. But what I really like about the sound is that if you know how to treat music, the sound can be very different from how you feel lyrically. So even though I feel like I have social anxiety lyrically and I'm speaking upon that, the music bed, the beat, I made the whole beat, I made everything about that song say otherwise.
So that song is kind of about moving past, getting past stuff.
Oh my gosh, Brent, it's so crazy you say that because the times when I feel like I can't move past something physically, the music always reminds me that you can move. You know, it's just real like that. When you feel like your message wasn't sent, when you hear your own song, sometimes your own song can send you your own message. I don't know if that makes sense, Brent, but you're a musician, and sometimes it takes your own song to remind you of certain things.
Cuando sabrás que estoy aquí para ti. Cuando sabrás que estoy aquí para ti. Quiero ser conocido por ti, mami. El mundo se siente bien contigo, yo. No puedes decirme que no le sientes, no. Quiero tu cuerpo bailando sobre mi cuerpo. Baila en mi cuerpo. Hagamos el amor en la pista de baile. Ven acá y dámelo como nadie. Estás destinado a ser mío. Contigo estoy tranquilo. Aquí es donde está la energía. Dime que estoy siendo engañado por mi fantasía. Nunca he tenido no como tú en mi vida. Déjame darte una vuelta en mis brazos, mami. Darte un dip muy abajo, mami. Anything that happens after, it's on me. Cuando sabrás que estoy aquí para ti. Cuando sabrás que estoy aquí para ti. Quiero ser conocido por ti, mami. Cuando sabrás que estoy aquí para ti. Cuando sabrás que estoy aquí para ti. Quiero ser conocido por ti, mami. Deja de jugar, ven a probar. Conmigo pasó una noche que no puedas olvidar. Me gusta toda, dame una oportunidad. Puedo aguantar hasta el final. No me crees, puedo mostrarte. El amor que hacemos se convierte en arte. Para mí, señorita, usted es una gran parte. Una gran parte. Te vas conmigo. Eres mi tipo. He pasado por el castigo. Te vas conmigo. sabrás que estoy aquí para ti. Cuando sabrás que estoy aquí para ti. Quiero ser conocido por ti, mami, mami. Cuando sabrás que estoy aquí para ti. Cuando sabrás que estoy aquí para ti. Quiero ser conocido por ti, mami, mami.
I mean, my songs are probably not as deep as yours, but mine have to do with tequila and garden gnomes.
You know what's so wild though? You think your songs aren't as deep, but the song about your wife having to get up and work,
Yes,
and you get up
one
and
of
work.
my favorites.
I don't care what the song sounds like. If you have a message that says, "Hey, I have to get the fuck up and go to work," and my wife, she has to do this shit, and I'm like, oh well, all right, I'm listening. You know, like recently, I'm a father. I'm like, is this how it's gonna be, or like your song has me thinking like, what's my life gonna lead me to? You know.
Look, if
And
we can
so,
only
like-
be all as blessed to have a Julia, his wife, is incredibly supportive and so patient just to put up with him, not even anything else. Because he's a smart ass. You can't, I mean, you live with a smart ass. That's why I'm single, because no one likes it. She's a beautiful soul, and she deserves 100 more love songs, Brent. I'm just saying.
Oh my gosh! You know what? I haven't even made one love song for baby mama, but
What is your songwriting process like?
what is the songwriting process like?
For
Yeah.
you? Well,
It's so hard only because it's in another language. But you know what's so wild is when I've been writing these songs, is I'll take a piece of paper and write how my life has been going in English, and then I'll take another piece of paper, translate that into Spanish, and then when I look over the Spanish portion of what my message was, I pick and choose what words rhyme with each other or how the message makes art, and I make that into the song.
Do you start out with a beat? Do you start out with an acoustic part? Do you start out with words? Do you have a typical way your songs start? And the reason I'm asking you this is I have like 50,000 different ways that songs start. So for me, it's kind of like it can be a phrase that I hear that when you're talking about, does it sound like my mom? Or or it can be I'm just sitting around playing my guitar and something will be like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Let's see where this goes. Or someone else will throw something at me and say, what can you do with that? But there's a bunch of different ways it can happen with me. So what about you? How does that happen with you?
It's been all of those. And that's one way I've been able to connect with your music is because it has been all of those. But the first thing that I ever think about is where do I come from? And if somebody were to, and I know it doesn't really matter. You don't ever have to explain yourself in this life where you come from,
But it sounds like you have a lot of integrity as far as what you're going to write. Whereas when I sit down and write, I just write. At least for me, writing is
it's like therapy.
A purging of sorts. Of bad and good ideas. And ridiculous ideas. Mostly ridiculous.
Oh, no, yeah, ridiculous ideas for sure. But that's what makes who you are, too. I'm not going to lie, hell yeah.
Do you ever get writer's block? And if so, how do you deal with it?
I love writer's block.
You love writer's block?
I love writer's block. And I I don't mean to talk about like I know that you guys say this podcast is about me, but in a sense this story is gonna be about me, but also about, you know, everybody I've ever worked with doing music is when some people say like I had one friend, he was trying to write a rap song, and I said, you know what's gonna help you write this rap song is because some genres limit you to what you can talk about. So I told one of my friends that strictly do hip hop, I told him, try doing an EDM song or try doing a rock song. And him and I did about 5 different genres with him recording that night. And I said, how do you feel now? You don't feel like that aspect of the industry is holding you back, because when you mix up the genre sound, you have new things to talk about. And when you have those new things to talk about, you can use those topics for your rap songs. You know, so let's say like you were struggling with love, but the rap industry doesn't really let you talk about love like that. You can always make an EDM song or a rock or a blues song and use those lyrics, that energy to fuel what you have going on. If that makes sense.
No, yeah. So what you're saying is you like writer's block because it gives you a chance to explore that same topic in a different way.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I haven't heard that before.
That's a really fucking good idea.
I mean, yes. I do use different mediums.
You do.
To push it through, but that's an interesting way to think about it.
Yeah. So when, like, if I'm wanting to write a rap song and I want a different topic that rap doesn't really let me talk about, I'm gonna make a different genre and use that genre, that inspiration, those lyrics, or that beat to fuel what I have going on with what I have naturally. If that makes, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying to get out of writer's block, you have to pull yourself out of a comfort zone.
You have to get out of the comfort zone. Yes, man. That's exactly what I'm saying. And you can't care about what anybody else thinks, because the moment that you do, the moment you care about what anybody else thinks, that's when everything is just gonna fall apart as an artist. Challenge yourself and to see where you can go in this industry, especially with how hard it is. Now, nowadays, back then, it's always been hard for musicians, you know.
It just the ways that it's hard just change over time, but it's never gonna be an easy industry.
It's never
at least
gonna
not
be.
To live on.
Yeah. Not to live on, but if you're somebody who, for my spiritual journey, if you're somebody who loves just the journey, if you're somebody who doesn't care about how much you make, you're going to go far in this industry. If you don't care about how much you make, and that's with any industry for me, if you don't care about how much you make when you start, you can go so far. People are watching you all the time, especially as an artist. And I've learned that the hard way. I've honestly learned a lot about being an artist very hard way. I've cussed an audience out.
Oh.
Because they weren't that.
Did you feel better after, though?
No, because
that sucks. Because I would feel great. I would be like,
no, I didn't.
What is that movie? Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. Like, I have a lot of rage.
Yeah, no, same. So, man, I remember one time I was looking out to the audience because the audience was just like this. And even though I knew that my talent was there and I had the power there, sometimes you just can't control an audience, and that's okay. That's very okay to not be able to control an audience.
Bad gigs are going to happen.
I was very drunk going on stage, and I cussed out an audience, and this was during my rap part of the whole career, is when I saw that they weren't.
We're not laughing at you. We're laughing because we understand.
And understand. I don't even care no more. This.
I could see Brent doing that.
Yeah.
No, I'm just a smart ass.
Yeah, you like to tear people down. You want them to walk away and then like 20 minutes later be like, wait a minute, did that motherfucker say what I think he just said about me? But it's too late.
I like when we do a great song and I go, just relax. Don't spend all your energy right now.
That's a very big component.
I'm gonna need you to clap sooner or later, so don't just burn all your energy right now. Just sit there, relax, have a beverage, keep yourself composed.
Brett, isn't it crazy how much energy you can spend on one song on a stage or whatever? There were some times where I thought I had to throw up, and I need to stop jumping around and on stage.
I'm too old to jump around.
I was gonna
dude.
say he don't jump around no more.
I don't jump around. I'm too old and fat, man. I think, but no, what happens to me when I perform is I have a bunch of things going on. So when I'm singing and playing, I'm thinking about, okay, what's Dave doing behind me on drums? What are the other guys doing? Where are the other guys at? What do I need to do next? Am I going to say something going into the next song?
Yes.
How are we playing that song in practice? Do we not want to play that song?
And that's a very big thing to consider especially when you're with a band. But just me personally, there are some times where like the show to me goes completely opposite from the rehearsal, but it'll still go just right, and it's just going off of instincts. You feel me?
Yeah. So wait until you have one of your kids in the audience. Then you're like you're thinking all those other things, and then you're like, don't put that in your mouth. You just pick that up off the floor. Don't put that in your mouth.
Put that in your mouth. Oh,
your dad stuff starts popping in there and stuff like that.
I have been worried about that.
Going on, though.
But that's where being even because I've also experienced this from other dads way before I figured out this or years ago is like I lived like that, so I'm gonna make sure my kid does not live like that.
Yep.
So like that's one big thing I'm gonna try to keep my aim at throughout this thing, But that's why I do Mexican music, is because Mexican music expresses love, stress, it expresses everything but what the rap industry today or hip hop R&B is influencing today. So I look at my son and I'm like they're the reason why God has been telling me to do Mexican music, because there are some things when you hear Mexican music, it sounds like they're crying. It doesn't sound like they're singing. Vicente Fernandez, it sounded like he was crying. And I've heard this from very many music instructors or whatever you want to call it. I don't know if you've seen on YouTube where professionals will watch people's performances. Mm-hmm. So
that's terrifying. I would never want that to happen to me, but I like watching.
For real. But I didn't know how poppin' my own culture was until I heard some lady from Australia on YouTube say something very well about our artist. And I don't know if you guys heard of Juan Gabriel. Very big, very, very, very big name in the industry, where they say he sounds like he doesn't know how to sing, even though he knows how to sing, only because that's how he's singing it. And it's all, for me, it's all about, because, Mexicans like to use their squeal with, yeah, mm-hmm. And it sounds like we're crying, using our emotion more than singing. That's what I love about the Mexican industry, especially with Juan Gabriel, Vicente Fernandez, all these people that have done significant sounds, is when you hear them, they're using more than it's like they're exceeding the expectations of a singer.
So let's talk about the other song. I don't want to.
Seria.
Thank you.
So, Como Seria, it's a nice acoustic opening. It has trumpets in it.
Yeah, I like the horns.
So that was kind of cool. And then you have a cool sample that keeps running throughout the whole song. So my question is when you're writing your song, specifically that one, Como Seria, do you hear that type of sample when you're writing the song? Is it when you're recording, or is it when you're mixing and mastering? When do you like really go, oh, I need this sample? Does that make any sense?
It makes too much sense to me, because here, like, growing up doing music, a lot of people have always just wanted to play the guitar, or they just wanted to be the lead singer, or being in the music industry, you want to be the head of something all the time. So when I first started knowing that I can do this type of music, I had to take a step back, because I can go out here in San Antonio, especially. I can go out and I know that there will be some drummers, trumpet players, or guitar players, bass players that will do the job for me, and that takes a lot of money. The best that you want your music to be is going to take more money. So when I was starting to write these songs, I knew where my culture came from. But YouTube now has something where you can look up this type of beat. So it's like if you gain your inspiration from Metallica, you can look up Metallica type beat. Or if you gain your inspiration from Ozzy Osbourne or George Strait, you can look up George Strait, Ozzy Osbourne type beat. And for me making my own beats, that's the most fortunate thing for an artist who doesn't know how to make their own beats. So me being somebody who just knows how to produce and make beats, when I discovered the kind of music that I normally do, which is corridos and tejano and stuff, things that take real instruments. And the most challenging part about this is that to play any kind of Mexican instrument, most of the time, you're not going to learn how to play it on YouTube. Or you're not going to learn how to play it online. Most of the people that have ever played Flaco Jimenez, the greatest people who have ever played Hispanic music, Mexican music, Tejano music, they learned from their grandpa, they learned from their uncle, they learned from their cousin. So that's nothing that you can learn. If you know how to play accordion, if you know how to play Mexican instruments, from what I see nowadays, especially from where I come from, is that you didn't learn off YouTube. You're not going to learn off internet. You learn from people who are around you, and that's a big blessing to me. That knows how to do what you do and where you come from, and it's very unfortunate to say, but so I myself knew that as long as you pay for what you get in this industry, as long as you pay for it, it's yours. I've played all the instruments growing up. My mom has made me play guitar. My mom has made me play accordion. She's made me play drums and bass, but I've always been the only one to know how to do it around me. So just to get to where I need to be, and I know I'm going to meet many more musicians, and I hope this happens. But
so what is the song about?
That's probably my favorite song that I've heard.
Which one?
Como Seria. I like the trumpets.
That beat for me costed about $350, but I would rather have a $350 beat than to have to go out and look for a bass player, look for another guitar player to match what, like that's what I love about today's music, is that you can go on YouTube or other people's website and look up what they have to offer you, because I've bought some of the best beats for $200, $300, $500.
O el 3 me curo. He venido sobre voces que me recuerdan todo, sin saber he mirado a los ojos del diablo, mirando hacia atrás de Sarria, no haberme caído en la trampa, es difícil de recuperar. He puesto barreras para mejor. A veces me pregunto cómo sería si no viniera del dolor. A veces me pregunto cómo sería si no viniera del dolor. Viendo lo que tengo, estoy en busca de la paz interior. Lo invencible es lo que me lo recuerda todo. Sin saber he mirado a los ojos del diablo, mirando hacia atrás de Sarria, no haberme caído en la trampa, es difícil de recuperar. He puesto barreras mejor. A veces me pregunto cómo sería si no viniera del dolor. A veces me pregunto cómo sería si no viniera del dolor.
Brett, anything could happen in this industry. You've seen it. Anything. There's a lot that happens in this industry.
That's true. Anything can happen. Anything and everything.
If you're able to stick with it, no matter what the struggles are, it's gonna be worth it. And
where can our listeners find your music?
Anywhere. You can go on any, and I was just telling my Instagram subscribers this, is you can go on any platform, any search engine, and you can type in Joel Tres. If it's one word, separate word, Joel Tres, it's Joel Tres. You will find something about me now. Where my life has brought me to, I don't care how you find me, you can find me. And
I'm seeing you on Instagram as Joel Tres Music. And we just followed you.
And we just followed you. You know, I'm gonna follow y'all back right now. Brett is so crazy. How do you feel, Brett? I have a question for you.
How do I feel about
what? How do you feel right now after meeting me at Starbucks? Did you think I would be this person, this open, this side of me after seeing the quiet me at Starbucks? I'm a very quiet person.
I thought you'd be a little more shy, but
I'm a very shy person.
He's also drinking.
I also told Randy, I was like, you need to get with him and you need to tell him not to be shy.
Well, I've been telling Randy that too, you know, but it's not his job. It's my own job right now. What is that? Successful me. The successful me is the person that's willing to talk.
Thank you for joining us this evening. I know it was quite exciting. It was very exciting for me, Ronell, and also it was very exciting for Joel, or Joel, if you will. But anyway.
Or Joel.
Or no, not Joel.
Not Joel?
Not Joel. No.
Not Joel.
No, I've been schooled on that. It is either Joel or Joel.
Look, I don't know. Fuck, I don't know.
I know. You're a white girl from Kentucky.
I am not from here.
All right.
I've just lived here off and on.
You're scarred.
I'm totally fucked up from it.
Thanks for joining us tonight and listening to us and hanging out with us. We appreciate it that you log on and check us out and see how we're doing, make sure we're doing all right. That means we provide some type of pleasure to your life, or you want to torture yourself. But since you are enjoying this or not enjoying it, could you send it out to a friend just, while you're liking, subscribing, and sharing? Share it with a friend. Have a friend experience the joy of Ronell from Kentucky. Thank y'all for hanging out tonight. And remember to
make
some
noise.